All right, here we go. Another crochet project, but this one's a little different because I'm going to be upcycling something and making something I haven't made before. Well, kind of made before, but also haven't. It's a little different, so let's get into it. This blanket here, I actually bought at an estate sale 2 months ago. Really? I've been sitting on this for 2 months. I did have a plan of what I wanted to do with it, but kind of changed that plan. And what I mean, I've kind of changed that plan. It was like literally last night. I'm like, I might do something different. This blanket is not a very big blanket. It's actually a smaller one, and there are some troubles with it. Wow, I can stick my whole hand in that. There are some issues with the blanket. I don't feel bad about cutting it up. And what I mean cutting it up is I'm gonna do my best not to destroy it. I love it. Look how cute it looks. I mean, like, can you see the vision? I mean, technically I could just leave it like this and have a poncho. Project's over, I did it, the end. It's definitely seen some love. It's definitely seen some wear and tear. You can clearly see like right here where somebody put it through their sewing machine to like reconnect it again. It's had its life as a blanket, and now it's gonna have its second life as a jacket. Okay, yes, now here's the thing. You know, like a jacket, you make those all the time. I make cardigans. I make cardigans all the time. I do not make jackets. And so with this, I want to make a jacket. I think I can do it. I think it'd be adorable. First off, you know me, I like, you know, I tend to go a little bit on the oversizedness of things that I make. But this one, I kind of want to tailor it in a little bit, just a little bit. Like, I know when I'm done it, if everything goes to plan, I'm not going to be able to wear like a big bulky sweater like this underneath it, but think about this as like a nice spring jacket with like a thin turtleneck or like a t-shirt underneath. That's kind of the vibe, with some jeans and some like Vans shoes. You get where I'm going with this? What I would love to attempt to do is to make it into a jacket, and I hope I can, because because this is an estate sale find, I don't know when it was made. I'm guessing probably pre-90s. Obviously don't know the type of yarn it is. It could be acrylic. It also could be wool. It is a little scratchy. Now, I hope that I would be able to make a jacket with it, because what I'm gonna need is I'm gonna need 2 sleeves, 2 front pieces, and a back piece. And look at the scallop on the bottom. Like, I'm really trying to keep it as intact as possible. If I need to make adjustments, I can make adjustments, because they are just granny squares. And because they are granny squares, I could technically undo each row and redo it. So if it comes to it and I feel like I don't have enough, I could always take this beautiful scallop border out and, you know, find some thin yarn somewhere that kind of matches it and, you know, create a bigger border. Maybe, maybe not. It's seen some better days, and I'm going to make it see even more better days now. That's where I'm going with this. I kind of just like don't even want to crochet anything on here if I can help it. If I can't, okay, let the crochet gods do what they have to do. But because of this beautiful scallop border, I just don't really want, I mean, I might have to, which is sad. I might have to make cuffs, okay? So I might have to take the scallop border off to make cuffs. I apologize. But I would love to keep the scallop border on the inside and on the bottom, but on the inside as well, I do want to add a zipper. Wow, a zipper. I want to put a zipper on a crochet project. I might hand sew it, and I might put it through the sewing machine, so that's fun. But I want to make it a jacket, and I feel like to make it a jacket, you gotta put a zipper on it. Yes, I could put buttons. If I don't find a zipper I like and I find some cute buttons, maybe I'll go the button route. I don't know. I just really want to put a zipper in something. And then I will be putting a cute little collar and attach a collar. That's the idea. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. I put it through the wash. I put it through the dryer. It's now time to figure out the layout of this. I definitely want the scallop border on the bottom. See, this is where it gets a little bit difficult. I need it to be the same on both sides. So if I do 5 on the front, that would mean I have to do 2 by 2. So I'd have that extra space for my neck. Or I do 6 on the back, and then I do 3 and 3. It's so weird because the squares look so tiny, but they're not as tiny as I think they are. I think the best case is 3 by 3 for the front and 6 for the back, because what I'm gonna do is when I have to make like the neck opening for myself, I'm gonna be making a collar, so I feel like it will work. okay? Problem I'm kind of running into is that you see all these stitches? There's a lot of these stitches like all over, so it's kind of hard not to run into these stitches. Oh, well, no wonder it's falling apart. I don't know if you can see it. Whoever sewed it with thread, like sewed the two parts with thread. That's why it's falling apart, because they didn't sew it with yarn. Here's a tip. If you make anything with granny squares, sew with the same yarn you made the granny squares with. It will be more durable than thread. That's what I'm saying. To make things a lot easier for myself, I took a photo of the blanket so I can map out what parts I want for what. Like, I'm gonna need to have 2 front pieces, a large back piece, and then 2 sleeves. And what makes this project a little bit more difficult than, say, just a plain blanket is that this has a scallop edge, so I really want to figure out where the edges are going to be, so then that way the scallop border is just continuous. That's why I need to figure out where all the pieces are. Here we go. This is the plan. This is going to be a front piece, because I want this to be the bottom and I want this to be the side, because I really like the scallop border and I'm trying to keep the scallop border as much intact. One, because it is very beautiful and I love it, but also because if I keep the scallop border, I don't have to do ribbing on the cuffs or the bottom. And then this here is also going to be the front, again, because I want the scallop there and I want the scallop there. The back piece, this is the back piece. It's going to be 5 down, 6 across. This is going to be a sleeve. Let's put an S. That's going to be a sleeve, and that's going to be a sleeve, because I don't care about the edges or the top, but what I really care about is the scallop border on the bottom. Left over, I will have this piece here, I'll have that left over, and I will have this there left over. I'm just thinking for a second, because I could do that. That would be easy. We're just going to put a big old line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. It was so close, because I was thinking maybe I could just cut down the middle and then fold it over, and then we got the front and the back, and that would have been perfect, but unfortunately it just won't work out because there's not enough and there's too much. That's not gonna work out. That's okay. I'm going to start cutting things out now. Why must I be the way that I am? I cut the front piece wrong. I cut it wrong. I needed 5 squares down. What did I do? I cut it 4 squares down. Maybe it will work out. Let me go and test that theory, because I'm going to cry. I knew for a fact that I would mess up somewhere. I just didn't realize it would be the very first thing that I did in the project. This represents the stuff I cut out wrong. I don't know why I'm like this. This is the new front piece. All right, I am back on track now. Okay, so again, I'm gonna have to do like some stitching, and that's fine, but this is one of the front panels. I think it's gonna be this side because there's all of this stitching. But what I'm thinking about doing is getting a fabric marker in black and just kind of going over that. One panel done. Now to do the rest of them, hopefully the right way. I finished cutting out the 2 panels. This blanket was in rougher shape than I thought, okay? I thought it had a few holes and a few little stitches. Now, this blanket has been through the ringer, okay? Ain't that right, Totoro? It's seen some things. This part here, I didn't accidentally cut that. That was cut. Got that done, and then what I did is I went into the garage and I found this Paton Astra yarn. It is a 3-weight yarn. This is actually remnants left over from the Wednesday vest that I made back in 2022. Was that 2022? I feel like it was just like 2 months ago. So I need to go through all of my yarn at one point. I'll make a video about it and like organize the whole thing, but I need to get some like totes and some organization things in order to like, you know, do it properly. Anyways, I had this yarn left over, so I don't need to go buy any yarn like I thought I was gonna have to, because this is the perfect thickness to attach everything together. It's also probably the closest in color that we're gonna get, so that's great. I just need to buy maybe some buttons and a zipper. Again, I'm not too sure what I want to go for yet. Maybe I'll buy both and then come home and like figure that out. But for tonight, I am just going to attach all the pieces together, and then tomorrow buy whatever I need to finish it and do the collar, and then I should have this project done by Friday. By the way, it's Wednesday right now. I think I'm doing pretty well considering I started this today. I got the front panels and the back panel done, finally. I haven't done the arms yet. I don't know how wide I want them, and I don't know how long I want them, and I have like an idea, but I'm not gonna cut into this again until I know for sure. I'm very happy that I did the 5. 4 was just not enough. This is what it's looking like so far. And then here's the back of it. Sure, it could be a cool vest, but I do want sleeves. I think I'm gonna have to do 4 down. You can't see it, but it's not enough. And again, I don't want to do ribbing. So 4 down is definitely the way I want to go. But although I would love to do 3, I can't do 3 because it's like super, super tight right here and it cannot be tight. I am going to have to do 4 around, but then that is going to make really billowy sleeves. So then that's when it comes in being like, well, if it's billowy sleeves, am I gonna like that? Or am I gonna want to make some cuffs? I didn't want to do any trim, but I mean, they're cuffs. Cuffs aren't bad. They're not bad. They're easy. I think maybe I should just leave it like a baggy sleeve. I kind of like that idea, because hear me out. If in the end I'm like, no, I don't like the baggy sleeve, it doesn't work for me, then I can just cut this trim off and just make it afterwards. So it's not like I need to get it done now before I can do anything. It's the last thing pretty much of the project. So I've decided that I'm going to do 4x4 and leave the scallop edge on, and then we'll do some billowy sleeves. And you know, if I don't like it, we'll come to that bridge when we have to cross it, which will probably be tomorrow. Yeah, so now I'm going to cut out the sleeves, and then I think tonight I might attach all the pieces together. I'm believing that this is actually made out of wool because it is extremely itchy. It's fine, I'm moving on. What I've done so far, which way am I going? Which way am I going? I gotta make sure I'm doing it the right way. Oh, okay. Whew. Oh, I just got real confused right there. I've got the front, the back, and the arms attached. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to stitch the sleeve and down the side, and then I'll have the shell done. Probably redo a try on in the morning so y'all can see, because like it's dark now, even though it's only 6:20. This is like such a fast project. It's going a lot faster than I thought it would.
The next day.
Went into Fabricland. First off, didn't get the nice ladies today. I feel when you go to Fabricland, it's either you get the nice ones or you get the ones that don't want to be there. Anyways, that's just a little Fabricland thing. People who go to Fabricland know what I'm talking about. I end up buying this zipper. I had to bring my tape measure in there because I forgot that it's all in centimeters and I measured in inches. I think what I'm gonna have to do is, because it's gonna be a little bit longer than what I needed to. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe it's the perfect length. And then remember how I kept saying that whoever sewed it together used the wrong thread? Well, I bought this. This is a fabric, it says Fabric Fun. It is a fabric marker that is permanent. So I am just going to doodle and draw over those bright green lines. Because here's the thing, yes, I know, technically I could take the squares apart, take the green out and re-sew it. I don't got time for that. Well, I kind of have time, but I don't want to do it. I don't want to cut up this project any more than I need to. So I bought this fabric marker, which honestly will come in handy. I'll just add it to like my sewing notion stuff, which I'm slowly accumulating. Anyways, that's that. Also, I do want to point out my hair is now long enough that I can put it in a little claw clip. I don't drive in it, just to let you know. I actually put it on my purse handle. I take it off and I put it on my purse handle. So then that way I remember to put it back in. PSA, do not drive with these in your head, because if you get in a car accident and this goes into the back, it's gonna go into your head. But also, how do people even drive with these? They are the most uncomfortable things, because all I do is I feel it on the back of my headrest and it drives me nuts that I take it out anyways because of the touching. I don't like that. But yeah, heading home now. Well, this is what it looks like on so far. I am kind of in love with the bigger sleeves. A few things that I'm going to tackle today, meaning everything I'm going to do today because I want this done today. First off, this is the zipper like I showed you, and it fits perfectly. So I just now have to figure out how I'm going to attach a zipper to this, because I have not put a zipper ever on any crochet project I've ever made. Saying ever. Anyways, so I have to figure that out. It is a bigger industrial zipper, which is what I wanted. I didn't want a little dainty zipper, so you can kind of see the hardware on that. I did get it in brass. I was thinking about gold, and then I saw brass next to it. I'm like, that's it. And then I had a really great idea about maybe having this as the collar. So as you can see right here, it flips out this way. Otherwise it'd be like this, and obviously not. I still have extra pieces left. I need the corner pieces, because what I'm thinking is I'm going to flatten this piece and then put that over top of it, right? It's not long enough, so I'll have to cut a piece. Maybe just this piece, maybe just 2 pieces. And then that way this corner piece can sit there. Also, they're both blue. That's kind of interesting. Would I like them to be 2 different colors? Yes, but this is what I gotta deal with. So I would love to do that. So that's something I'm gonna do today, which means I actually don't have to crochet anything on this project. Wow, a crochet project that involved no crocheting by me. And then I bought this pen like you saw because, you know how I said someone like sewed it back together, and because they sewed it in white thread, which I'm not mad, okay? You had your choices, you made your choices, but could you have just used some black thread? It's in the past. How far in the past? I actually don't know. So I'm gonna get that marker and I'm just going to color over top of the seams that are showing on the outside. Hopefully I can get it all done today. Next, I'm going to put the collar in. I decided to do this before the zipper because I don't know where I want the zipper to sit yet. For like right here, that's like the flap. I'm going to sew this down really quickly on both sides, and then that way this is actually gonna like sit on top of that. I'll weave in those ends later. Okay. That is what it is looking like right now. And then of course, when it flips over, the collar is gonna sit kind of like that. So I think that's gonna look pretty good. So I'm just gonna stitch this up really quick. The collar is now on. I kind of wish they were 2 different colors, but what are you gonna do? And now it's time to add the zipper. And what I love about it is that the length of the zipper is perfect, that I don't have to cut the bottom off and I don't have to cut anything at the top. So now I just have to measure it, pin it, and I think I'm just gonna sew it by hand. I laid it on the ground. Look how cute this little collar is. And now I just have to figure out how I'm gonna sew this on. I pinned it together. There's no rhyme or reason how I pinned it. It is how it is. I just made sure that the bottom lined up here and that the top lines up here. And now I'm just going to sew it by hand. I also am going to use thread that matches the green. I was really hoping that the zipper itself was going to be wider, and then that way I could sew it to the black here, but it's not going to work for me. I'm actually going to use this green that kind of looks like faded green yarn. I think that works pretty well. I just started sewing, but Totoro is acting so cute right now. Totoro, I have to go to work. Well, I have to work. And you're just like, oh, that doesn't matter. I'm Totoro. I get what I want. Look at her. She just wants all the pants. All of them. The final step to this project was taking the fabric marker and trying to do my best to hide this light color thread. And it is done. Oh my goodness. This is kind of exactly how I envisioned it turning out. It's so cute, and as you saw, I was like, do I want to put buttons on this? I'm so happy I didn't, because this zipper makes it. It looks so good. Only downside is that I am pretty sure this is wool, because it is so itchy. And maybe one day I'll put a liner in it. Not now. Not now. This collar turned out so nice, and so as you can see, right here is where I had sewed it down, and then that just kind of goes on top of it. I think that looks pretty good. And then here is the back of the collar. I did actually give it a little steam, so it would kind of like stay down. So there's that. And I also did give this a little steam as well. Not that it did too much, because it's such an old item that I'm pretty sure it's as stretched out as it's gonna be. I do think it is like just so cute. I don't know what to do with my hair anymore. The collar, I'm so glad, because here's the thing. My initial plan was I was actually gonna find black yarn and crochet a collar very similar to like other crochet projects I've done where I've crocheted the collar and attached it. And then I had this piece like kind of just sitting, and I'm like, Do I want to just put this as the collar? Good move. Good move, Michelle. And what's so funny is that this is a crochet project where I did not have to crochet anything. This is a no crochet project that is crochet. So if you don't know how to crochet, you can make this. As long as you know how to sew and use a needle and just go in and out, I think you're good. A no crochet project. That should be the title. And then like here's the zipper down. This is what it looks like open. I just want to put a black t-shirt underneath it. I'm not too sure what I would wear. Probably a black t-shirt, because chances are I'm probably going to leave it zipped up because I love it. Here's the thing. If you also do want to make this, you don't have to put a zipper. You literally could just leave it as is and just kind of have like an oversized sweater. But personally, I actually like it zipped up because it's so funny. Is every single time I make a cardigan, I never have it buttoned up. Even if I put buttons, I never button it up because I don't like it buttoned up. But this one, I think like the zipper just makes it, it just looks so cute. I'm really glad I sewed it to the green, because I feel if I were to have sewn it into the black, which is over here, these green scallops would have like kind of overlapped, and that's not really what like the look that I'm going for. Now, a few little things about it. One, I kind of wanted it to be a little bit more fitted, but if I had done that, it would have been 4 on the back, 4 on the front, and it would have kind of like done that. And I don't want it to be fitted like that, and I don't think it would fit over my hips. And then that would mean that this part here, this would have to start like all the way up here, and that would just drive me nuts because there'd be too much bulk closer here. Wish it was a little bit smaller with what I'm working with. I think it's okay. I think it looks pretty cute. Because what's so funny is that these squares, every time I did it, I felt like the squares were too small, and then when I would look at them, they were too big. Like, it was so weird. It was like an optical illusion where I kept looking at this project and I'm like, well, how much fabric am I gonna get out of this? The squares look really small, and then when I got close up to the squares, I'm like, oh, these are not small squares. I think it's just because this project here, like that square is like pretty big. This square compared to that, it's a small square, but on its own, it's a big square. I was kind of thinking about putting pockets, but unfortunately, I don't think pockets really would have worked, because either the pocket would have had to been like the size of this square and like really unusable, or it would have been like 4 squares and like, I don't know, I just don't think it needed pockets. It's so busy. Another thing, what I noticed is while I was doing this, I didn't realize how old it was. Like, I knew it was old, but I didn't know how old. The green in some spots have been sun bleached, meaning that it was out in the sun, or like, you know, just the sun came through the window and hit it. And over time, the colors are different. One side will be like a little bit more lighter, and then the other side is a tad darker. So that threw me off a little bit. And like, I feel like I definitely saw it when I was doing here. Like far away, you're not gonna notice, but when I got like really close and sewing things, I'm like, oh, okay. It doesn't bother me. It just adds to the charm of this. The other thing though, what I noticed is that all over the place, like right here, there's these little knots, and that's because they knotted it, but they didn't weave it through the material. And maybe it was woven through at one point, but over time, it's come undone. I'm trying to hide them as best as I can, but every time I look at it, I find more of them. I guess there was probably a front side and a back side to this project, but because I needed certain pieces here and there, and then not really realizing that there was a good side and bad side. And then also the fact that some places were stitched and like, you know, if you use this, what I noticed is that like the top stitch would have been like a bright green, and then the bottom stitch was like a black. One side was good, but the other side wasn't, so I had to do like the good side facing out, but that could have been the back side of the project. Hopefully you know where I was going with that sentence. From far away, and like if you're not really, like again, like people aren't gonna come up to me and like grab my sweater and like inspect it. I would hope they don't. Please don't do that. You don't really notice it until you're like really up close. Another little thing is that this crop, perfect. I feel like if it would have went like I could have done 4 down. 5 down is fine. 5 down, I'm happy with this length, but like it could have been like this. It could have been a little bit more cropped, but I'd rather it cover my belt. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. The other thing was the sleeves. Now, I would love it if I could cuff it. You know me, I like a good cuffed sleeve, but I love the scallop border so much. I don't mind it being a little baggy. I think it looks really cute. Like it looks cute, like it looks intentional. It looks like it belongs with it, so I'm happy with it. Now, if there wasn't a scallop border and it was just a plain simple border, I probably would cuff the sleeves. But because of the scallops, I needed to leave the scallops. So the marker actually was really cool. There was 2 sides of it, which I didn't know. know, so there was a fine tip and a thicker tip. I did it on the back, so I don't really know if you can spot where I colored it in, but somewhere on the back I colored it in and it was like bright white, bright green, the thread. I think that really helped. Also, what I noticed is that it said that you have to iron it on the hottest setting that the fabric will allow in order to set the marker, which I didn't know, and I'm not taking an iron to this. I mean, I could put like a piece of fabric down or a pillowcase and iron over top of it, but it was only little parts on the back, so it's not a big deal. I did take my steamer to it, so that was heat, so hopefully that fused it together. You know, this is what it kind of looks like. It's so cute. I am so impressed with myself. And this project took me 2 days. It would have taken me 1 day, but I didn't have the zipper. So I had to go buy the zipper. I've had this blanket for 2 months, not doing anything, wanting to make like a vest. And I'm really glad I did not make a vest because this is just so gosh darn adorable. Maybe I'll go to another estate sale, which I'm planning on going to on Sunday. And maybe there will be, some more crochet stuff and I'll do it again, because honestly it was kind of nice not having to crochet something for a video, because I'm currently working on 3 other projects and those videos have to come out on certain days, and so I had to like think of something on the fly to like give you guys some content that's like crocheting content, because I know y'all love that. I'm gonna give a 9 out of 10. The missing point is that it's a little itchy and those gosh darn stitches that I had to color in. That was a fun time. I'm over the moon with how cute this is. It's just so funny because sometimes I'll see a vision and sometimes I get there and sometimes I don't. But this one is exactly how I thought it would look with this zipper. And then one more little thing is that what's so funny, and I just noticed now, is that there's the 2 blue patches here and then there's 2 matching blue patches down there. So funny how that worked out. I think that does it for this video. If you're new to my channel, like sewing, thrifting, crafting, and of course crocheting, why not hit the subscribe button? You can follow me on my Instagram, my TikTok, and of course my Patreon. I think that is it. So y'all have a good day now.